Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Monday Mentor. I'm Jen Whitmer, and I am here today with my friend Michael Kithcart, and I can't wait to introduce you to her. So, if you are new to Monday Mentor, like I said, I'm Jen Whitmer, and I help teams and leaders solve conflict, cultivate communication, and create empowered teams. And I bring a really fantastic person to interview much of the time who can be our mentor in leadership. And this Monday, it is the fabulous Michael Kithcart. She is a high performance coach. She is a sales coach. She is an all around amazing human being, a speaker, and a personal friend of mine. And so I'm so happy that Michael is here today. Welcome.
Oh, Jen, thank you. That's the best intro ever. And always so much fun when you and I can spend some time together. So thank
Yes.
you.
I will always take my Michael moments, whether they are super fun and joyful or when Michael is giving me a little bit of a tail kicking, which is, both most of the time. So
Always filled with love.
always filled with love and always helpful. So I would love for you to share with people. I always like to know, how did you get here? What has created this business for you where you are helping people really be high performers and at the top of their potential?
Yes. Well, thank you. It's certainly been a journey, and I always tell people I know I can help because I used to be you. I used to be that just all out high achiever that just was so goal oriented and would go at all expense, usually my own, sometimes others around me. And I really reached this point finally, and I would love to tell you that I learned it early on, but I didn't. And I recognized that I was sacrificing way more than I was gaining, and that there had to be another way, right? And I didn't lose my passion and desire to win. I mean, I love winning, which is why we talk about winning your way. And I was just looking at comments in the section there. So great to see everybody. But what really happened is I wanted to find a way, like, how can I make this work for me? And it's not perfect, right? And it's not linear, and it changes over time. So if I can just let everybody know that there's not one way to win. That's why it's winning your way. But it's about finding things that are going to work better for you to be able to feel like you're having success in business and in life. Because what I find with high achievers that turn into high performers is they actually are super successful, Jen. They are like killing it, but they don't feel like they are. And so we've got to shift that thinking and those beliefs into being able to see the progress and the success that they are having, and identifying what would actually be more satisfying to them, and making sure that those elements are added into their life. Again, these are the things that I had to learn for myself. And then as a leader, I incorporated that in with my teams, and we had great success and had fun doing it.
Well, one of the reasons I love about you and the way that you talk about it is you're recognizing that a lot of these people are like, I am winning, I'm doing it, but there's so many other components that don't feel right still.
Yes.
And we can all experience that. And I asked in my Facebook group this past week, which Shelby's a part of, and hi Leslie, about, what are people struggling with? And there was this thing about procrastination and like feeling like I'm not going to get there. And really, I was looking at some of the people who were talking about that they are procrastinating, and I'm like, every time I see these people, they are achieving. They're getting it all done. But like you said, there's that disconnect between what's really happening and what we feel like on the inside. So how do you help us switch to see what's really happening?
Yes, yes. The big switch is starting to see that achieving, because so many people see achieving as a good thing. And it is. It is. It is usually in pursuit of a singular goal, a singular outcome at any cost. And that's the shift that we want to make, at any
Mm.
cost. So high performance is still about being able to reach ongoing levels of success over a sustained period of times, but it's while maintaining positive relationships and well-being. So that's where the shift really is.
Yeah, I think it's that at any cost. It's when we get to like high achieving at any cost or high performance, it's that any cost. It's
Mhm.
actually a scarcity mindset. It's
Yes.
not an achieving mindset, but we're like, and then we look back and the things that we have burned in the path are the things that we were actually the reasons that we work, relationships, friendships, family. I think that at any cost is really too high.
Yes, it is. And more people are recognizing it,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
COVID certainly, it's one of the things that got exposed during that time. Your question, and the question that I get a lot, is like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So how do I go about doing that?
Yeah.
And what it really is, kind of two parts to get better results. And that's about thinking differently, about seeing situations differently, because a lot of times what we think are constraints and things that can't be done are really just beliefs that we have in ourselves that are limiting. And I don't know about you, Jen, but I hate limits. I just hate
I
them.
don't like limits. You really don't.
I really don't. It's true. I mean, like, that's a whole life's journey there.
It's true. It's true.
So, thinking differently and expanding possibility are really key to being able to get better results. And if I dialed in on one thing, and that's when you were talking about the people in your face group and saying that they were struggling, they procrastinate. So many times the focus is on the end result, the big thing, the whole enchilada. And what is helpful for most is breaking something down into the smallest, simplest denominator to
Mm.
just get started, because then you can see some progress, and progress builds momentum, and momentum gets to where you want to go. So if you're feeling like you are procrastinating, find one thing that you are actually willing to do today and take that one step. And that's a quick win.
It is a quick win. And like you said, it changes, it builds that self-efficacy. We're like, oh, I've done that. And now I can do the next thing. So Shelby's asked a really interesting question. It's like, how do we handle times when we know we're not actually achieving? Um, and how do we kind of cope with that feeling of I want to win, but I don't feel like I'm achieving, and it doesn't look like by the standards I am either.
Yes, yes. It's a good indication that something needs to change,
Mm.
right? And it can be personally, it can be professionally. So examining what isn't working, what just isn't. Is this a rough patch? If it's work related and you are acknowledging, like, I'm just really not doing a very good job right now. I mean, there are times when that can happen. And asking yourself, is that a skill or a will issue?
Ooh, tell me more. Tell me more about skill and will.
Because sometimes we hit spots professionally where we've hit a wall, and it's time for us to learn something new. And to be able to acknowledge, like, oh, I need help. I
Mhm.
either need to take a course, or I need to go talk to somebody who's at the level that I want to be at, and investing that time and support to be able to learn something new is really important, and that's huge growth.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where the way I often say that is we have to balance in leadership ruthless self-honesty. Do I
Mm,
really not know how to do this?
yes,
But also radical self-compassion. That doesn't mean I'm less than.
exactly.
It's like those two things have to go together. And like you're saying, in order to get the new skill, you have to do something different. Like
Yeah.
we can't, like there has to be some way of change. Otherwise, the cliche is you just keep getting what you're getting.
Yes.
So one of the other things I think you're really great at is helping an individual see how their mindset is. How do you help the leader? How do you help the team when you come into a group, because you do a lot of speaking in groups? How do
Mhm.
you help the group win together? How does that work?
Yes, I love winning together. There's nothing better, actually. So what I will do with teams is really get a sense of where are they today? Where are you today? What's working well? What do you think's gotten you to where you are? And where is it that you want to go? And the gap between where you are and where you want to go, it's starting to identify, like, how would you have to behave? What kind of leader would you need to be in order to get this different result?
Mm.
And finding some common threads be amongst the leaders so that as a team, they can find two or three things that they could do differently, better, more often, right? That would start to get aligned with that different result.
Yeah.
And that actually can make a radical change for teams.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what you're saying like what I keep hearing you come back to is there's action,
Mhm.
it's aligned, and it's small. Like those three, I keep hearing you kind of come back to this. Like, where do you want to go?
Mhm.
And then how do you start moving in that direction? But it's not jumping across the cliff, it's taking the first step.
It is. And I would say before that, so thanks for giving me this opportunity, because like most people do start with the action piece. What we have to start with first is the identity piece. So that's
Mm.
why I have teams like, what is going well? Who do you see yourself as? Like, what kind of leaders? And what would have to be different in your leadership style? How would you have to start thinking of yourself individually and collectively to start leading in a way that's going to bring the team to that new result? The thought piece is the key. And most people start with the action, but we got to dig in and see what in the world are you even telling yourself, and change that tune first. Then we can realign the actions.
It's so true, because then you just go from action to action to action to action, because you can't get it aligned because you don't know where it's connected to.
Yes.
So that's so powerful. So one of the things that I love about what you do is really kind but unbelievably clear accountability. So how do you see that as a part of your practice and the importance of really winning?
Mhm. Well, we've had lots of conversation because you talk a lot about conflict, right? And for some might see accountability as conflict,
Mhm.
is like holding somebody responsible for the thing that they say that they're going to do. And I see it as a gift.
Mhm.
And it is kind, because in asking, so what is it that you are willing to commit to? What does commitment actually look like for you right now, and by when are you going to do it? That is helping to provide clarity. And if there's resistance, we can talk about it, right? Maybe the timeline has to change, maybe the action has to be different, maybe we have to like back it up and go, okay, because what's going through your head? Because you're thinking, oh, there's no way I can possibly do this. Who am I to set this big goal? I mean, like, whatever. Then we start unpacking those stories. And that's what accountability does in my mind, in the way that I
Yeah.
use it.
It's such a gift. It's such a gift. So here's my little story. Michael and I are both coaches. We both help other people, but we're a part of a group together. And so we were doing a hot seat moment, and I was in the hot seat. And so I'm sitting in front. Michael is literally right in front of me in her cozy chair. I was not in a cozy chair. And I was struggling with this thing about like, I mean, I emailed and I just don't know how to follow up, and I'm kind of wishy-washy. And Michael just repeats back to me what I said. So you sent one email and you thought everything was going to happen. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's what I did. And we started all kind of digging in. It was because I didn't want to be a nag. I didn't want to be the person. All the stories started coming out. But the clarity that you offer by just reflecting back was so powerful and helped me get to the action. because it was the identity of like, oh, I don't want to be the nag that was holding me back. Not, I didn't know how to send a follow-up email.
Right.
That wasn't the issue. And so I see you doing that so frequently with people, and tell me a little bit about why that's winning and why sometimes you spell it with a Y. Like, what's winning your way? What do you do with this framework with people?
Yes. Well, and I just want to say, like, you got to the other side of that really fast, Jen, right? I mean, that was like maybe a 90-second interaction. So the discovery happened really fast, and I know that you followed up.
I did. I did.
So it doesn't have to take so long. But, the winning your way is really what's going to work for you. The why in winning is all about you. It's for you. It's designed by you. It's crafted in support of you, right? So you identified like, oh, this is something that for me to get what I want, I'm going to have to do this next step, and maybe a couple of different times. But it wasn't me telling you what you had to do, right? You came up with that. So it's going to be different for everyone. And that's why winning your way is with a Y, because it's all around what's going to work for you. Yeah. The other side of it is also my middle name. I've been winning my whole life. So I just have to throw that in. And then the spectacular failures along the way. In between those wins, I do just want to say spectacular failures.
Yes, but I love when you share about your failures. So if you've ever heard Michael speak, I mean, she's a fantastic speaker right here. Like, book her to speak, because the way she crafts her stories about even some of those failures and winning on the other side and helping teams are highly entertaining and also so engrossing. You just want to listen. Like, she'll drop something and later you'll be like, but wait, I need more. I want to hear more. And she's such a powerful speaker. It's so wonderful to listen to. I am just realizing that we're almost out of time.
We're just getting started.
I know. That's what it always feels like. So tell me a little bit more about how people can find you. What are ways that you help people? Tell us all the things, Michael.
Okay. The easiest way to find and follow me is on LinkedIn, where we are right now, live and in person, or my website, which is michaelwkithcart.com. And I work with leadership teams through workshops, strategy sessions. I do executive coaching, one-on-one, and I am a keynote speaker too. So if you're looking for your next event and looking for a way to get everybody up, moving, inspired, and taking action, let's talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael is a great follow. She also has a podcast.
Yes.
Right? Clearly humble as well.
Well, no, or just forgetful. But it's Champions of Risk. Thank you, Jen, which you can find a link on that if you go to the website at michaelwkithcart.com or on any of the podcast platforms, Champions of Risk. And I have some fabulous guests that have been.
It is a great podcast. I love listening to your interview and the people that you bring on, especially if you are a leader. I think it's such a powerful way to experience Michael. And then I hope that you also follow her on LinkedIn. She is a fabulous follow here. And if you want speakers, not only am I a speaker, Michael is a speaker, and she's a great person to bring in to help your team really win uniquely for you in some really powerful ways. So thank you for being here and being our Monday mentor today. I have like lots of notes about all the things that you said. So I can't wait. I can't wait to think about those some more. Next week, I'll be back with my friend Emily Perrin. I'm actually going to the UK next week. So we pre-recorded and it's already an amazing interview. So come back next week at 1 p.m. Eastern on Monday Mentor. Michael, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing your wisdom with us.
Thank you, Jen. It's been a ton of fun, as I knew it would be.
Always. I'm always up for spending time with Michael. All right, everybody, have a great Monday, and we will see you later. Bye.